We are right where you need us. This is State of the Matters on First Next News. Casitoni with you, cutting through the noise to bring you the stories driving our nation today. From breaking policy updates to debates shaping our communities, we are unpacking the headlines that matters most. Stay tuned as we engage in expert analysis on the trending topics in the polity. Top on the stories. As Nigeria grapples with epileptic power supply and national grid collapse, Asorok to disconnect from power supply in March. More like it on budget defense. Adams Oshomole to Umahi, you were only 2 months in office. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll dive into the discussion of the day. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show State of the Matters on First Next News. I am Casitoni. It's a pleasure having you on set, Ugochukwu. He said this time I'm starting with you, so that you won't tell me that you're jealous, right?
I didn't know you really memorize your memories are really sharp.
Very, very sharp.
Good afternoon, Cassie. Good afternoon, viewers, and good afternoon, Kens.
Good afternoon.
I think we are here to look at the
state of the matters.
State of the matters,
yes, things happening in our
the way Asorok want to leave us in darkness
and empower their own villa.
So I think we are here to dissect on it, Cassie.
Thank you so much. Kings, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cassie.
Hope you're not angry that I'm starting with the good.
Why? It's a normal thing, at least. It should be a rotation as usual.
Right? Don't worry, the next show, you guys are going to switch seats. This seat is not permanent.
No.
Maybe tomorrow I might decide to sit there.
Why? Of course, no one is entitled to one seat.
No problem, it's fine. So I'll start with you, Ugochukwu. I'll say this is a shame. Like, it's a shame for Nigeria. If they really want to disconnect from the public power supply, I'll call it a very shameful thing. Looking at Nigeria, it's a country that is approaching 66 years, right? They're approaching 66 years. Why would they want to disconnect from public power supply without having the public at heart, without thinking of the poor masses? They are thinking about themselves alone. I'm not against them using solar panel. I'm not against them using solar, but them wanting to disconnect, they should think of the poor masses. They should think of people that can't even afford this so-called solar. Even some of them can't even afford electricity bill or to even pay, but the little that they manage to see, they should not cut it from them. They should let them enjoy what they are actually paying the tax for, rather than cutting them off entirely with the statement of they want to use solar, spending a whooping 10 billion naira just to install solar, and now they want to cut them off. I'm not surprised that South Africa actually cut them off when a whole embassy in a foreign country could not afford to pay their NEPA bill, and we are the ones even supplying light to Ghana. Just Ghana of yesterday. And then Niger Republic, they also have light. So why is Nigeria...
Ghana got independence before you.
Okay.
The first West African country for that matter.
But
The first West African country to have independence.
Ghana must go.
Exactly.
With the size or maybe their backwardness
But
in
you heard
economy.
that. Then where did the Ghana must go come out from? Where did the Ghana must go come
Nigeria
from?
was truly the giant of Africa, Cassie.
Okay.
So you can take it off from there that there was a time Nigeria is priding herself as the giant of Africa, which indeed she was. Because I could recall one of the Nigerian presidents, I don't know whether it was Shehu Shagari or who said that Nigeria has money, the problem is how to spend it. And today, Nigerians, you are still in the Gen Z, where you where you hear about the Japa syndrome. But before now, Nigerians go to school in the UK and come back with already waiting job opportunities, with them being written to even in the schools where they are to come back and take job.
But now the reverse is the case.
Reverse is the case. So that's why I was saying about not Ghana. Ghana must go. There was a time Nigeria was a pride of Africa.
Okay.
There was a time Oyibo people were coming here for medical treatment.
All right.
There was a time they were coming here because Nigeria is where it was happening.
Okay.
Then.
So back to our story.
Yes, it's all connected. That time Nigeria, the power supply or the power generation was serving Nigerians. But due to the inaptitudes and the inactions of our leaders over time, not only Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, truth be told, that the Nigerian leaders did not visualize the population explosion, the Nigeria, being a country that you see is becoming industrialized. They didn't see it that way. If they have foreseen that, they would have planned ahead. But what did they do? They were only enjoying the windfall from the oil sector. When you marry a new wife, there are this exuberance that comes with honeymoon. But you forget that wedding is for one day, but marriage is for a lifetime.
Yes.
So that is what happened to Nigeria. The leaders failed to see beyond their nose, to think ahead. So that was why till today Nigeria is grappling with generating 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts. You see, during the Muhammad Buhari administration, they celebrated when Nigeria hit 5,000, 6,000 megawatts. Whereby some airports, Heathrow Airport and one of the international airports in South Africa, uses 40,000 megawatts. I mean, only airports using 40,000 megawatts. But a country like Nigeria, we are celebrating that we're able to generate Patre, Mega, 5,000 megawatts. And let me shock Nigerians. That 5,000 or 6,000 megawatts, you cannot feed it to the national grid. If you feed it, your bulbs and many things will be lost. Because they have failed over time to replace the old and the aging electrical equipments that have become obsolete, that have become that they bought during the time they had locomotive, that are now unserviceable. Most of them has packed up. It's in the same way in Nigeria that a group of people will gather to purchase transformer, buy wire, buy everything, and they call a PHDE or whatever they call it now, the discos, to come and install. After they install, they will now ask people to pay.
Okay, so now I want to know
that they do that.
I want to know the fate of the poor masses. If eventually Aso Rock disconnect from public power service, I want to know the fate of the poor masses.
The danger is this, Cassie. The danger is this. If as a father, when you are healthy, you're not able to fend for your family, is it when you are sick? When they are, when even till now, they are still enjoying the darkness with us. Let me not say power. They are enjoying the darkness with us. What of when they exist? If they cannot feel our pain, they cannot feel, ashamed of how Nigeria got themselves to this, approaching 66. If it is in Nigeria, they will say the person is a senior citizen. They'll start claiming elder statesman. Nigeria is becoming an elder states country in Africa. What is the example to show? Even the things we pride ourselves, we are fast losing them. So it is shameful that the federal government or the state house, being championed or being supervised now by Bola Tinubu, is to severe relationship with the public power supply and only thinking of themselves. That is not only him. That's how they have been thinking about themselves. They don't think about Nigerians. And it did not start from him. I don't know if you are a student of history. You remember during Obasanjo time, $15 billion was borrowed to help in in alleviating this epileptic power supply, and it went out the drains. And committee upon committee, it's only in Nigeria that you set up committee to receive a white paper from already set committee. It's only in Nigeria that a committee supervises a committee. Then that particular money they shared that time that didn't yield any fruit, didn't add anything to the Nigerian electric sector. Today, other people are doing their own, what they like. So Bola Tinubu, I'm not envying him. If he can purchase a jet without reference to the Senate, he are making money for it, can go and buy a jet, and some of the things that they do without reference to the Nigerian state, if they are doing this one, that we got almost 10 billion. Following the America, I remember when they started this project, the argument was that the White House is connected, is using solar-powered system of electricity. But are we up to that? That has been the million-dollar question. So our leaders should search themselves and also think of what concerns the masses. I think I should stop here for now for Kings to wade into the issue.
Okay, thank you so much. Kings, over to you.
Yeah.
What do we call this? Is it to your tent, O Israel, or should I use to your tent, O Nigerians? Because if you're going to ask me, which I know you will not ask me, I would say if they actually do this, then there's no point people going out to vote during election, because it seems like people going out to vote, they don't even have the people interest at heart. So what is the point of people going to
vote in order to vote out the people that
even if you're going to vote, your votes will not still count. So there's no point.
Our vote will count. Our vote counted in 2023.
Which perhaps they reached the election.
Kings, we don't have to discourage and demoralize Nigerians. We'll get it right. We tried.
When will they get it right?
No,
this
is
66
right.
years. When?
Hence, they are tinkering or altering the 2023 Electoral Act, and Nigerians can go out to hold them accountable, to force the almighty Nigerian Senate to reconvene, to call for an emergency section. That means Nigerians are getting it right. Okay. And in 2027, that's why they are afraid.
Okay.
In 2027, we get it better.
I hope so.
And what we are going to do, Cassie, is we are going to vote out all these non-performing
old cargos.
Not old cargos. It's not about age.
I think we should leave. We should remove voting outside. Let's go back to our national grid.
No, they are still the same, because if Nigerians get it right through our electoral process, through Nigerians coming out overwhelmingly to vote, it's unfortunate that in 2023 INEC told us that we registered up to 93 million Nigerians, and only a insignificant number came out to vote. Assuming we came out and voted and defended our vote like the Abia State people did, we will not be talking about this kind of thing.
Okay,
so the leaders we have are the product we voted for.
Okay, so I hope they get it right come 2027. So back to what we're discussing.
On a nutshell, Cassie, I've heard all what my colleague said,
okay.
And let's leave voting outside. We're talking about national grid and the electricity issues unraveling the country so far. Now, if you look at this problem of electricity failure and thereabout, as Nigeria has been suffering from electricity failure for over 50 years now. We're talking about since 1960. I think that was
1960.
Yes,
it's 1960. Then Nigeria is approaching 66 years.
Okay, so now if you look at that year, 1960s, 1970s, that was when we've been trying to, have find means to get solution unraveling this electricity failure and thereabout. Now, let's come back to this new project. It has been on since 2015.
Okay.
Since 2015, unaware. Nigeria being unaware.
Okay.
Probably most citizens might have idea, but I know for the fact that it was not publicized to the nation concerning this embarked project in the ASO Villa. Concerning the electricity supply that now it was stated by the permanent secretary that we're talking about the life Temitokbe, that's Fashidemi,
yeah.
Who confirmed it recently in February 11, 2026, but it has been on since December last year, you understand, where the sum of 10 billion was, let's look at the funds that has been spent. We shouldn't talk about how it's affected. See, I'm not against,
they're just
no, sorry, let me summarize. I'm not
They'll
against
7 billion.
I'm not against the president trying to separate the electricity of the presidential villa out of the national grid. I'm not against it. Okay. Yes, I think the president villa ought to have constant electricity supply. It's a good one. It's a good idea. I buy it. But on the flip side, I think the citizens also should be considered. And looking at the funds here, we are talking about 10 billion naira that was embarked on the budget and additional 7 billion. Just imagine. I think this money is enough
to do something meaningful
in the entire country. So that's what we should be talking about here. And this money has been, and it has also been made for a continuous sustaining annually of 5 billion. And we are talking about 6 billion.
So far. How are we sure that this particular figure they are giving is the actual figure they've spent so far?
That is what we are talking about. Look at the money that will be used annually. We are talking about 6 billion naira annually for maintenance. We are talking, probably it will be spent, if I'm not mistaken, probably every 6 times or more than that in a year. So look at the money that is just going for just the presidential villa.
And it's not just about installing
these funds.
I think
if I'm not wrong here, I believe these funds can be used to sort out the issues, problem, affecting our own national grid that the president now wants to remove the Aso Rock for. I could recall this year, where the last month, where there was an issue concerning the grid failure and everything that affected the whole country. My amiable governor stood out. That is, we're talking about the life of Alex, the governor of Abia State. Look, Alex Oti, the Abia State was not affected.
Exactly.
It was under the same regime, the Tinubu regime, a single governor on his own, and make sure that his own state is being separated from this national grid, having their own electricity. Thank you, sir.
Generated within the state.
Their own. Just imagine. In the administration of this same president who is funding this huge amount of money in just generating power for the providing solar or whatever they call it for the presidential villa.
It's about generating this power.
So we are not looking at we are looking at the funds that is being spent. You see, our leaders should find another method to blindfold Nigeria. Okay. This is a country that supplies electricity to neighboring countries.
I love that statement.
We are talking about
another method to blindfold
exactly.
Nigeria.
They should stop using this. I think there are people who are good for orchestrating lies. You understand? Maybe they've gone to the schools of lying. Okay, let's find how we play these people. Let's do it this way. I think this is what these people are trying to do. So, regarding the masses right now, I think you can see the number of protests. There was a time I stated it in this platform that look, our protest most time doesn't go anywhere. You look at this electronic transcription bill that we are protesting all about. At the long run, you will see that it might not have any. There might be no usefulness of this protest. So if Nigeria realize this now and start coming out for protest, at the end they will still do what they want to do. So I think our leaders should I use the word, have sympathy on us. Exactly. Yes, there should be sympathy. They should have sympathy. They should stop trying to use all these means to snap, or I would like to grab funds from the federal allocation.
And it's not
you understand? It's getting out of hand. We are talking about billions of naira being mentioned. We're not even talking about millions, billions on just electricity supply in just one building. That is not up to the size of which church will I use now?
Don't promote.
Don't use church.
Okay. That is not the size of
use it. You can use
of the National Assembly.
Use a community.
Okay, a community. Yes. Thank you. So what are we talking about? This is absolute fraud.
You can use my village.
No, don't use your village. I don't want us to use your village.
So this is absolute fraud.
Okay. Orji's village. He
Thank you. There's no electricity.
Yes, Orji. Yes.
It's unfortunate. So our leaders are just trying to blindfold Nigeria on how to get funds.
You see, Cassie, I want to come in on one particular thing he mentioned. it is unfortunate that every time we are complaining in Nigeria, we rope all the leaders together. I want to give it to Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he came in and liberalized, let me use that word, and liberalized the generation of electricity in the state. How many governors? Just like, I think Oti and Hope was of them of Imo State, because I think last week I watched on national television where they are commissioning an independent power plant. Hope was of them are built in Imo State. So, like the one in Abia State. So the federal government under Tinubu have tried, because just like you said, since 2015. But I also mentioned the money that Nigeria went and borrowed from
the money time of Obasanjo.
During Obasanjo time,
yes,
$15 billion.
Imagine
that somebody, pocketed and nothing happened.
And that will still be among the debt Nigeria is owing.
It's owing. God bless you. It's owing. So what we are talking about here is that, hence the president has removed it from the exclusive list to concurrent. How many states are leveraging on that? Look at Rivers State during Amechi. I heard that they had what they call the gas turbine that produce light. But at the end of the day, where are those equipments? Who maintained it? The government after him, did they maintain it? So this is what we see in Nigeria. Look at what is doing now. Who is going to sustain it?
When you say the government after Wike, which of the government? After Amechi.
Yes.
Okay, that was Wike. Okay, Wike did not maintain.
I'm not here to discuss anybody. What I'm talking about
we are talking about issues concerning
affecting Nigerians and the nation. That is bringing shame upon this country.
Honestly speaking.
So we are not after anybody, but if you do well, what we are talking about is what those ones did. What is the effect? Who sustained it? What Tinubu have done now is to ask what the constitution said is that generation is like the defense. When the Gencos generate, whatever you generate, you transmit to the central portal, where they will now distribute according to the needs of the states or peculiarity of those industries. But today, Tinubu has changed the narrative.
And most of the country,
I'm educating Nigerians.
Okay.
Let Tinubu have now, liberalize it, that generate your own, and then feed whatever remains from what you generate for your state, give to the center for cushioning or for emergency use.
And sorry to interject you, sir.
Okay.
You see, most of these countries you see around us that are enjoying power supplies, they don't even have there are resources we have in this country that should be able to enable us
generate
power for ourselves. Most of these countries who are around us or who are not even up to our standard GDP,
what I'm saying,
they don't even have it yet.
Those resources you're talking about.
This is a big shame. Honestly, just as Cassie usually say, it's a big shame on the country.
Cassie,
honestly,
what case has raised now is a very jammer issue. Is on the same thing that I'm saying, that those resources you're talking about coal.
Exactly.
We have wind.
Exactly.
We have Mambila power supply.
Is it dam water? Is it water?
Have dams. So how many of the states governors, with the excess money that they have since the removal of fuel subsidy, are thinking about the people?
For 50 years.
We say the federal. Tinubu has done his bit in this particular issue now. Tinubu has done enough to allow the states generate. How many of them are leveraging? That would be the question. How many of them are leveraging on that?
Akwa Ibom is joining the league.
I don't know.
Akwa Ibom is joining the league.
The life of
Lagos too.
So you don't blame it on the door of the. That is why last week or last 2 weeks I heard that Mr. President has given a directive that the federal government is going to stop the subsidy on electricity, that states should bring their own funds.
Imagine.
And help the federal to subsidize electricity for Nigerians. I never knew that there is electricity bond somewhere that you are given to states in order to help him pay him, but Nigerians are paying for darkness. Nigerians are paying for no electricity at all.
Exactly. When there's no light,
we are at the mercy of those discos.
We will see the PSCN company
at the mercy of those discos.
coming to collect light bill.
This discos will not end down, but we will come to it again after March, because they are test running now.
Yeah. Exactly.
After March,
yes.
when the federal government
still test running with over 5 billion naira.
Remove their hands, our severe relationship with the Nigerian Electric Power Authority, then we will now know the fate of Nigerians.
Okay.
But the thing now will be, let us hold the state governments accountable. Let the state governments do the needful for their people. In Enugu, we have coal that can generate. In Kogi State, they can generate those lights with either water or through their mineral resources that they have, all those people that have uranium and all those ones. So that is the problem in Nigeria. Everything is not about the federal government. Let the state government help the federal government and the citizens.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu Elmo. King Sojala, I can see that you're boiling, like your mind is, you're really angry, but I want to take your mind away from this whole national grid saga. Let's move to Adams. The almighty AI generated.
The distinguished senator, as I usually call him.
Yes, so the distinguished
senator, exactly. Our friend.
He has the guts, like the mind, to call another senator 2 months senator.
No, I think it was the minister who called him 2 months senator.
Okay, the minister called him.
Yes.
Whoever called the calling, so long as there was a calling.
The whole chaos concerning which took part in the committee session, where the Minister of Works, David Umahi, presented a budget of 3.4 trillion naira, budget for the 2026 fiscal proposal. Yes, where my honorable or distinguished senator, as I usually call him, Senator Adams Oshomole, really came into the matter as it has been arranged in the committee session and thereabouts, which include the life of Owonboyi and also Senator Raphael Hanga and many others, who were present there to really get full clarification on the 3.4 trillion naira budget of most road construction and thereabouts. Now, I really want to clear something, I don't want to be in any side, but I watched the video and I really cited something very clearly, where Adams Oshomole was given a paper. I don't know who distributed it, when the minister, Umahi, has clarified most of the budget deficit and amount of money that they have spent so far, and also made some statement that the federal government has refused to boosting, that is also give funds concerning the budget. That is why it looks as if there are some lapses and delay concerning this, concerning the budget and thereabout. Now, Adams Oshomole made a statement. He said, because he made a statement that what he is seeing with him is different from what the honorable is presenting, and is a slap to that of the president. That is a, how did he put it? He said the president is not pleased. Now, he mentioned something. He said, initially, we all know Julius Ebega to be one of the most prominent and well-known contractors, yes, in Nigeria. Yeah. Now, there was a construction company, I've forgotten the name, he made mention, that are not well known, by the name Makano. It's not very known. He said,
is it
Mekano, yes. He handed the project, the contract to them. That these people are not well known, that he ought to have given the project to Julius Berger, because those people are well known construction company in Nigeria. Talk about Lagos, here in Port Harcourt, they are everywhere. We all know them and we see them around us, even in this vicinity. You understand? That was what really brought the arguments. And from the funds, from the money, my dear honorable, my dear minister mentioned, and that of which Oshomole stated, to me, I think there's something fishy somewhere. He mentioned some amount of money that was spent, which Umahi wanted to defend, which brought about the chaos, the argument and thereabout, that made him call him that you are a 2 months senator. And from the look of things, I think there's something fishy somewhere, that probably before the ending of the week, there will be full finalization.
That is beyond this.
Exactly. Now, it called some amount of money that is not even enough to, to even build a foundation. We're talking about 4 million naira that was spent in some road. Talking about Uromi and some. He mentioned some kilometers of road that was to be constructed with some huge amount of money that Umahi mentioned. And look at the money that was seen in that list. We're talking about 14 million. What will 14 million do in the construction of a federal highway? We're talking about 16 million and thereabout. But you presented a project that cost some huge amount of money. We're talking about billions over here. So that was what brought the chaos. Now, let me summarize this. The thing is, I'm not trying to discriminate the minister. I'm talking about I'm not trying to discriminate his work. But whatever the case may be, look, I've been seeing his works thereabout. Okay, look at the Lagos Calabar Coastal Way. We've seen the commencement of it, yet to be concluded. We don't know when. I've also seen they talked about a Badagry Sokoto Highway. I don't think that one has been enforced yet, probably due to delay of funds and thereabout. But my conclusion in all this is that I don't want to talk much into it because it has not yet been concluded, even by the Senate and the rest and thereabout. Whatever we do, whatever it should be done should be doing well. You understand? Bringing some amount of money and a few is being spent on that project, I think is uncalled for. You understand? Like I said, I don't want to side at Oshomole, or do I want to side Umai? Most of our ministers are fond of this. Okay. This is not the first time. His brother, Uwamboyi, was trying to defend him in some aspect. It's normal. You understand? Was trying to defend him even when the Honorable Distinguished Senator was trying to raise out some allegation. And if you, from the look of things, and this is not the first time Umahi has been accused, trying to, you understand. I could recall the known Arise analyst, Erofai, trying to ask him one or two questions, and before you know, it resulted to a dispute. So when things like this are happening, when there are disputes like this, trying to present a case to probably the senators and so, they should know there's something fishy somewhere. So whatever is what you should be done well, rather than trying to defend yourself even when the result is clear.
All right, thank you, Kings. Let me hear from Ugochukwu. Ugochukwu, I don't know if all of a sudden Adams Oshomole suddenly developed amnesia that he forgot that Umahi left the office on his own. So I don't know why he should call him a 2-month senator.
He didn't leave the office on his own. It was a proper argument that needs to be stated clearly. That was all. Of course.
Okay.
So
no, you didn't understand the question she asked.
Yes.
Okay.
Why he left the Senate?
Yes.
Okay. Not that meeting.
He won not the meeting.
Okay.
He won
the senatorial
his senatorial zone
to
represent his people.
Okay.
Just like Solomon Dalong did, the former governor of Plateau State.
Okay.
All of them were sworn in by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but because of the call to duty and call to service, they preferred to. People who don't know what politics is all about don't understand politics. If I were them, I would still take that decision of exiting the Senate.
The Senate.
Because the Senate have ranking officials according to how many years you have been in the Senate. While Umahi and Dalong are first timers, so you don't expect them to get principal positions in the Senate. They knew that very well, that they have to learn through the ropes. So what happens? Immediately, Tinubu were able to call them to come and become ministers. And if you're a minister, a big boy,
of course,
a big politician, because you
exactly
have a budget,
what he said.
Yes, you have a budget to plan, but in the Senate, you don't even know. Senate have a general budget that you're being paid, your sitting allowance, wardrobe allowance,
car allowance,
free car, they
exactly,
give them. And the newspaper they never read,
exactly,
allowance,
tea allowance.
So that is what we see. But those two young gentlemen, reasoned beyond what Adams Oshomole is talking. So if I cannot take away being jealous or envious of those people. Then Adams Oshomole suddenly developed amnesia because he also did not conclude his tenure as APC chairman. He did not conclude. He was kicked out of the office for non-performance. You know, he was the person that said when you cross over to APC,
your sins are forgiven. Yes,
he's the person who could
because
find
he's Jesus Christ
and energy to massage other people. So what I said is that I see him as somebody who is playing to the gallery, who wanted to use David Umahi to cover.
But you know, Umahi and Oshomole, they are both allies of President Tinubu. So
no, we are not talking about that.
Okay.
We are not talking about that. You know, Tinubu found favor in Umahi, seeing what Umahi did in his state. I don't know. You don't know about Ebonyi State. Truth to be told, you don't know about Ebonyi State prior to the coming of David Umahi as a governor of that state. Then you now understand why you should hold him in a very high esteem. And you know, he's also a super minister. The ministry he's occupying is the one Chibika Amechi occupied.
Yes, when he was before he left the government.
You know, so we also are looking at the ministry he's occupying and the jobs he's doing. And you remember that you recall within that section you had Weboy eulogizing him, which is what triggered and angered the other people from from that section I watched. You could understand that Nigeria is divided. Nigeria is sectionalized.
That one is normal.
They don't understand what politics means, even though most of them are on the same party platform.
Yeah.
But that sectionalism, that tribalism,
it's still
and
there.
that you could see it play out whenever
exactly.
those public exposed persons come together. You see one supporting the other one. See one supporting. So what happened was a very big slap on David Umahi and what he represents. Before the 2023 general elections, I said on different national televisions and radio that if Nigerian presidency were to be given based on performance, the governors you could find that time is either Shomolu, although Shomolu was doing based on a laid-down principle. But David Umahi came and started from nothing, just like we see Oti doing now. And the another person I mentioned was the governor of Rivers State then, Wike, because of his performance.
That's why it was.
But in Nigeria, of those presidency and offices are not given like that. They are given based on the amount of money you have to spend. So what happened at the floor of that, the meeting of that committee was shameful, was unnecessary for Oshomole to have referred to this. That's why you had Umahi saying that I'm a distinguished Nigerian. Yes, because he was duly elected by his people. You saw also the chairman of the committee from NMPP telling Nwaboshi that the vote I won was 10 times more than your own. It was unnecessary.
And the other one saying that I am in the ruling party.
That will show you the division among those our leaders. That even a senator will be belittling his fellow senator based on votes turned out.
Exactly.
Or the vote you
and
used
claiming to be in your position,
all of them
ruling
were
party.
elected to represent their people. Whether it's 2 people from your secretariat district or your constituency, you have been elected. We were here when we saw the former governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa, he won his opponent on the APC then, just with less than 300 votes, but he was a governor. INEC pronounced him a governor. There was no rerun. So what do we say here? I say that Nigerian public exposed leaders don't even know what they stand for and what they mean to this country when they face the camera. And shamelessly, this thing was happening at the full glare of camera. You know, where they don't know the difference between politics and the policies.
Well, Mr. Gochuku, this is not the first time now.
These people have come to make policy. This is a policy committee.
It's not the first time, and I don't think it will be the last.
favor Nigerians.
And I don't think it will be the last.
To approve a budget of 3.something trillion that will help in completing the ongoing projects. Though I agree with them that project is being handled by an unknown firm. But those unknown firms, that is also how Julius Berger was given a test. So our leaders should know the difference between politicking and when they are to serve the Nigerian people, to have what they call the dividends of democracy.
Okay.
I think if they realize that and start bantering themselves maybe because of the position you occupy, or maybe somebody is looking at you as somebody that is coming from disadvantaged state or region, because let's not mince words, those things are playing out at the national level, as we can see. That's what caused all those infractions. This friction is unneeded, is not needed at all.
And it's not even giving courage to the next generations coming behind.
So if they continue to fight like that, I don't think we'll make any headway. Let them look at the budget, look at what he has done, what is remaining,
and what should be done
in this fiscal year.
Exactly.
And approve the budget and not using it as a time to banter.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu. We've come to the end of the show, State of the Matters. Nigeria is a divided fraction. Yes. So this division, they should know how to settle it before bringing it into the public. And like David Umahi said, he is a man of...
he's a distinguished...
Yes, he is a distinguished...
Nigerian.
Yes, citizen Nigerian, all of them. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie, and it's my pleasure being here.
Thank you, Cassie, and thank you, Nigerians.
And that's it. Many thanks for staying tuned. I remain your host, Cassie Tony. Is it bye for now?